at this moment in time, at this moment in history, who God's chosen actually are. And it ain't the Polish Bibi Netanyahu. If there's ever been to me any person that I would say most clearly represents the synagogue of Satan, it would be that man. It would be that man. It would be that man. And by the way, I want to say this to you guys because many of you are waking up and you are perhaps on the same journey that I have been on for the last 2 years, looking around and going, what is this? Because I used to be a Zionist because I just never understood really what they were doing. I was baptized by, the public school, the public school education, which is teaching us nothing but to be brainwashed. Hollywood movies, which, like I said, made us always feel like no matter what, make sure you defend Jewish people. They could never do anything wrong. And what really became a turning point for me was recognizing that I didn't even know the beginning of the 1948 story. I had assumed that the world would have been moral enough so as, even if the United Nations and the UK determined via the Balfour Declaration that, hey, war happens and now we're giving this and we're establishing Israel, I had assumed that they would have done that morally. That they would have said, here is the money for the home that you have lived in for thousands of years. The property that you have lived in, here is money for that, but you have to go. That's not what happened. I mean, the Bella Hadid story is stunning. These people came on ships holding up signs about World War II saying, please, we're refugees, let us into your home. And the Palestinians opened their doors to them. This is the story of Muhammad Hadid and Bella Hadid. Yeah, the model, Gigi Hadid. He was an infant. His mother had just given birth. They allowed these refugees, these Polish refugees, to live in their homes as refugees because they wanted to help them following a world war. And then one day, they came back to their houses and the doors were locked. They came home, the doors were locked, and guns were being held, and they were told, leave right now, or some soldiers are going to come murder you. Do you guys understand? Just go through that in your head. Wherever it is that you live right now in the world, imagine your family has lived on that land for hundreds and hundreds of years. That this has been your home for hundreds of years. And then you say, oh, you know what? The Ukrainian war is happening right now. I feel really bad. I'm going to allow a Ukrainian to live in my house, maybe here in Tennessee, live in my house. And you allow them and you share with them. And you do this out of the kindness of your heart. Right? Because you are being taken over, perhaps by the Spirit of Christ and charity. And one day you come back to your house and the doors are locked, and those refugees that you let in are telling you that if you try to open that door, you are going to die. That is how the land was given to them. That is a fact. No one can dispute that. There was no money. There was no trade. There was no conversation. They were effectively hijacked in their own homes. So the entire story of Israel has been immoral, okay? And it has really hinged upon our ignorance. We have all been ignorant, and it's time to stop. Because once you know the truth, now it is your burden to carry, okay? If you are truly ignorant and you support something, as I did, back when I was a Zionist, hitting the ground, talking about Israel, tweeting about Israel and how we must support Israel, then that's okay. That's going to be acceptable, because one day we're all going to have to account before our Creator. I have to hope that is going to be acceptable, that it was truly ignorance and I believed that I was doing the right thing. But you now know this is not the right thing. And if you keep doing that thing out of fear, all right, out of, a jerk knee reaction, because you're scared of being canceled. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be you when you meet your maker. I wouldn't want to be you when you have to stand before the Lord and account for what you allowed to take place. Because those children are dying, they are being burned to death, had been carpet bombed. The access to those images, it's at your fingertips. And to the people who really do believe that God's chosen people rape, murder, destroy, pillage, lie, deceive, blackmail, Jeffrey Epstein, all of our politicians, buy, purchase, threaten, manipulate. Goodness, you may really want to crack open a Bible if you think that those are the signs of God's chosen people. Shoot presidents in broad daylight. Yeah, no. It shouldn't take you a theology course. You just take a little bit of common sense to tell you that no, that is not what God's chosen people do. God's chosen people were, as it was prophesied, Christ was going to come. God's chosen people, it was prophesied. And guess what they did when Christ came? They followed him. And at the moment that you followed Christ and became a Christian, you didn't become unchosen. Christians are the chosen people because Christians, real Christians, not the ones who have been baptized in the liturgy of the Holocaust and are defending these demonic actions, but the ones who are willing to take being maimed and caricatured and smeared and lied about to say something that is true, which is that we're not pro-life sometimes, okay? We're pro-life all the time. Life is precious, and murder is never okay. Yeah, I think that it should be abundantly obvious at this moment in time, at this moment in history, who God's chosen actually are. And it ain't the Polish Bibi Netanyahu.
Who is the real Netanyahu? What does he stand for? What are his beliefs? What is his story? This story begins in October 1949, 1 year after Israel's formation. This is when Netanyahu was born, the second child of a historian. His paternal grandfather was a rabbi and a Zionist writer. His name was Nathan Milikowski. Later in life, he Hebraized his surname from Milikowski to Netanyahu, a name which means God has given.
This is Yair Netanyahu's DNA test that has been leaked. You can see right there his Y DNA is RM198. Descendants of RM198 come from Poland, Russia, Germany, and other European countries. Does this look Semitic to you? Does this look Middle Eastern?
At this moment in time, at this moment in history, who God's chosen actually are. And it ain't the Polish Bibi Netanyahu.
Police make a wild discovery underneath a synagogue in Brooklyn.
An illegal tunnel found below the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Crown Heights.
All right, Fox 5's Lisa Evers takes a look at how it was discovered.
9 men are facing charges this afternoon after police say they dug a secret tunnel into the sanctuary of the Chabad Lubavitch headquarters in Brooklyn.
The men described by police as extremist students are accused of digging the tunnel so that they would be able to have access to the sanctuary after hours. And when a cement truck was brought in to fill that tunnel, the men stood in the tunnel, refusing to leave.
The discovery of a secret tunnel eventually led to a massive brawl inside a 100-year-old synagogue in Brooklyn, New York. Known as 770, the synagogue serves one of the largest groups of Hasidic Jews in the world. Now, luckily, no injuries were reported from this brawl, believe it or not. But what the hell sparked it? What is behind the brawl in the first place? What got people so fired up? Well, it was all over the discovery of a tunnel and an attempt by authorities to fill it with cement. So you see a gentleman coming out of that tunnel. This isn't in the Middle East, guys. This is in Brooklyn, okay? This is in Brooklyn.
At this moment in time, at this moment in history, who God's chosen actually are. And it ain't the Polish Bibi Netanyahu.
בזמן שישראל לאחרונה נמצאות מפצו כמה עניינים. מה שרואה עוד, וגם מטו שעדיין משאיר ליבו. אז הייתה תמה שהוא ומה ידיעתו. הכנראה שהיא מספיק, כאילו שהיום כבר כמה שעות בגיר ועדיין ליבו. אבל יש עוד כמה שעות, אז יש להשתדל גם היום, בבשורות טובות. יש שמחה וטוב לבוא. כדי שחסידים מקפידים שכל מנהיגים את השמחה. בשורות טובות, הצלחה לדעת.
In New York City, 20,000 Hasidic Jews still keep traditions which have remained unaltered for centuries. They are called the Lubavitch Chabad. The Lubavitch believe that they have the answer to the question, what is a Jew? Or more precisely, what does God expect of a Jew? God expects that a Jew should be someone who sticks rigidly to orthodox practices and to a fundamentalist reading of the Jewish Bible, the Torah. Crown Heights, Brooklyn is the headquarters of a movement which has set up communities in 28 countries. The influence of the Lubavitch is felt worldwide, but most notably in Israel, where Orthodox religious parties would like to achieve a purely religious state. Hasidism began in Eastern Europe in the 18th century and was argued over even then. It attracted thousands to its emotional, mystical worship, but existing orthodoxy opposed it. Hasidic life centers on a charismatic leader known as the Rebbe. The Lubavitch Rebbe is Menachem Mendel Schneerson. He's the seventh in a dynasty which stretches back 200 years. He is revered by his followers as father, guru, king, miracle worker, perhaps even Messiah.
At this moment in time, at this moment in history, who God's chosen actually are. And it ain't the Polish Bibi Netanyahu. If there's ever been to me any person that I would say most clearly represents the synagogue of Satan, it would be that man and maybe Rabbi Shmuley. And here's what I would like to say to you, Rabbi, since you're quoting scripture, okay? The one that's relevant to me is woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley. Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley.
And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israelite, that's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time, if you give me time, all that he said,
no, we don't have
so many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of notes. And I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible.
Yes.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites or you want to be Jews?
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was Abraham, born in the city of a black man called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.